So a while back, I made a video about why I was leaving Micro Four Thirds for Nikon, and now it's time for me to make a video explaining why I am going to eventually be leaving Nikon. Before we do that, if you like this video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. If you love it, think about subscribing. I make videos on this channel about travel, tech, creating content while traveling across the world. And if you like this, go ahead and check out my Facebook group, Travel Tubers. It's got more information on the subject. I think it's appropriate before I dive into the necessary reasons about why I'm going to be leaving Nikon, I think I should just give you guys a little bit of the backstory about how I became a Nikon shooter and my journey with Nikon products. At the age of 15, I began shooting with a Nikon D70S that was provided for me by my local high school. My first Nikon body was a Nikon D200, which I had for, I want to say 4 to 5 months. I was shooting concerts, stuff in low light. I was able to get a Nikon D7000 right when it came out. I used that camera all throughout my college years. I shot a wedding with it, and after that wedding, I absolutely hated the experience, and I sold my D7000 and all of my Nikon professional 2.8 glass. After that, I had a trip coming up going to Israel. I bought into the Olympus Micro Four Thirds system, and that was a really great camera, and in some ways I wish I still had it. As I'm doing a lot more traveling now, the compact size made me want to use that camera more frequently, and I oftentimes miss having a camera of that form factor. I began doing more commercial work in my mid-20s, and I started shooting a lot more concerts and festivals, and I needed a low light camera that would provide fast and consistent autofocus, and that found me buying a D750. As it currently stands, I absolutely love the Nikon ecosystem. I love my Nikon glass. I have a 24-70 2.8G, 70-200 VR2, a 50 1.4D, a 20mm 1.8, and a Rokinon 14mm f2.8, and those are all phenomenal pieces of equipment that I absolutely love. Every time I shoot stills with that camera and that glass, I am continuously blown away. Unfortunately, the amount of stills that I'm shooting is beginning to dwindle. Looking through my Lightroom catalog, I'm taking less and less pictures, and that's becoming more and more because I don't want to have to carry the weight of 2.8 zooms, and I'm shooting more video, and this is really getting to the crux of why I'm going to be making the switch to Sony. While Nikon is a phenomenal stills camera with great glass, there are no professional Nikon video cameras used on productions or used in cinema. Now, this doesn't mean you can't get great results with Nikon cameras when shooting video, but things like different bit rates, higher bit rates, different codecs, 4K at different frame rates are things that I'm not expecting to see Nikon adopt in the coming future. While it's completely possible that the next Nikon full-frame DSLR is going to shoot full-frame video, we can see from the Nikon D850 that it's going to be a lower bitrate and a weaker codec, and unfortunately with my needs, I need a camera that's more focused on video. In a dream world, I would love to have an A7S Mark III whenever it comes out and have autofocus adapters for all of my Nikon 2.8 glass. Most of the autofocus adapters from Nikon lenses to Sony bodies are not the greatest, and because I'm gonna have focus peaking, I'm probably gonna end up buying 1.8 vintage prime lenses and a couple maybe f4 zooms for travel purposes and for shooting video. Even if the next Nikon DSLR that comes out shoots wonderful 4K video, I doubt that the codec or the bitrate is going to be anything near what we already have at the current moment from Sony. At the end of the day, what I just have to ask myself is, am I going to be taking more pictures with a smaller body? The answer is yes. Will that smaller body give me better video performance? Yes. So even if I'm not gonna have the ability to track an artist jumping around stage, the reality is that I'm not shooting that type of stuff as much as I used to be. And the size of the Sony system is just a better fit for where I am right now. More likely than not, I'm gonna start to unload my Nikon gear and pick up like an A6500 and some prime lenses and hold on to that until the A7S Mark III gets announced and move to a full frame Sony camera. I'm really going to miss a lot of things about the Nikon system, and I really am going to miss the Nikon family that I have in all of my forums. I really think that when it comes to just stills and the performance and ergonomics of a body, Nikon is truly the system for me. And I'm really sad to say that even if their next camera is a phenomenal stills camera, they're not going to have the video capabilities that Sony or Panasonic have right now. Well, I would love to know what you guys think. Please drop a comment down below. If you love the video, go ahead, subscribe. Till next time, it's been Mitchell, Millennial,